It's all about what's ahead.
It's 84 degrees at 12 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time, featuring Joe C.
I'm having nightmares right now.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses, big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bed Bath & Beyond. Nothing says football like scented soap.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
That segues beautifully into what we will get into today with Big Searcy because, well, he's issues, grievances, problems, all that. We will get into it and have a bunch of fun today. We welcome you. The noon hour is XL Prime Times on Thursday, so we appreciate it. That's for sure. We move up to noon, go noon till 2. Frangie Show in at 2 and then Jaguars programming, including the coaches show, Doug Peterson, up at 4 o'clock this afternoon with young JP Shadrick and Jeff Lageman. I'm not exactly sure of the rotation, but I'm pretty sure they're there every Thursday. Anyway, welcome in. We got plenty to do. We're fired up about what we've seen yesterday and today. Your Jags against the Bucs. And training camp right now, unfortunately for fans that have been able to come out and watch a lot of practice, and for us, is officially broken. It's officially done. But I say we go through some of the things over the last couple days, Leon, that we've seen, that we think we know, all that type of stuff. But let's at least start with a little bit of what we saw today.
We saw them get after it a little bit. They weren't in full gear or whatever. Yeah. But I had a nice little view where I could see the defense and the offense, and then I think for the most part, I think they did well. I saw a lot of guys flying around the ball on the defensive side of the ball. I saw Josh Hines Allen. I saw Trayvon Walker make some plays. I saw Mamuma make some plays on the run, and then on the offensive side of the ball, we ran the ball effectively. I saw Tank. He's still having a good camp. Mm-hmm. Running between the tackles, running outside, and that. So y'all guys might be focusing on the catches and all that kind of stuff. I'm focusing on the interior of the offensive line of defense and what they're doing. If they're able to move guys, if they're able to move guys, move the pile, get to the second level, all that kind of stuff. So from what I saw today, with the team periods, I think that they were effective on both sides of the ball. Mm-hmm. From what I saw.
Yeah. I thought it looked clean.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the best thing you can say at this point. It looked very clean. But I also will say this, and I think this has to be said, is as sharp as Trevor Lawrence looked, Baker Mayfield also looked that sharp. Mm-hmm. So it's a practice that favors the offense. There's no doubt about it. So I just don't know that you can put so much on, wow, Trevor looks great and Brian Thomas Jr. looks great. And they did. There's no doubt about it. But it's the way they was set up, they weren't hitting. They were thumping.
Yeah.
And it favors the offense. So I agree the Jags offense looked good. So did the Bucs offense.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I did exactly as you guys did, bouncing back and forth, toggling, looking left, looking right, 2 full football fields that both teams were using. Ones against ones primarily, and then they were mixing it up a little bit, but offense for Tampa versus Jags defense on one side and then the opposite on the other field. And I just told Jaguars today, I kind of to your point, Matt, I felt like both offenses succeeded against the secondaries of the other teams. Mm-hmm. There's playmakers, obviously, in both huddles offensively. Yeah. So Mike Evans got off a little bit today. He made his share of plays. Brian Thomas Jr. has as well. Mm-hmm. Gabe Davis, Kirk, Kirk no, but Parker Washington in that position. There have been a number of guys that have made plays against both of these secondaries.
Well, I mean, I have to agree with Matt when he says that the offenses, because the offense can accentuate its run plays, it can accentuate its routes because the DBs in the corners, with the safeties in the corners, they can't hit their spots they would in regular games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When a guy's running the curl or he's running the slant, whatever, that guy's downhill right now, but he knows he can't go downhill in practice because he's going to hit the guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So on the offensive side of the ball, you can accentuate the routes, accentuate the running plays, because the defense knows that they're gonna only go to a certain point to where they can't hit a guy. So that's when I said that both sides they both looks crisp on the offense side of the ball because it's driven for the offense, especially when you're in no pads.
Yeah. All right. So if you guys were out there today, you've been out there the last couple of days, 641-1010. We'd love to hear what you have to say. You can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can jump in the YouTube chat. Just log on to YouTube, search 1010XL. You'll be able to find any of our shows. You can go back and watch any of them at any time, but definitely tune in with XL Primetime on YouTube right now. We'd love to hear from you, and you guys can jump in. So a little bit of a sad day today for the fans that have been able to go, because this is the last time you're going to be able to see them on this stage in the Mecca, because training camp is broken. And so we'll get into all that coming up. But I'm realizing now, as we're just getting it cranked on a Thursday, that I didn't let go of my Corona call, okay? And I'm fired up for another game in the bank. You can get your cold Corona if you slide over to Daly's on that side of the stadium, but I'll just let it out as we get going. We kind of build the weekend for you beginning on Thursday at noon, and we say thanks to Corona. They say don't let go of that summer just yet, but start getting ready for football season. And we've got a tailgate prize pack that we will be getting a lot of people entered in to win, courtesy of Corona. We'll be telling you about that as we go along today and throughout the football season. So the pronouncements, what we think we know. Let's at least throw one of those things out, because I want to get RJ to put a poll question out there. Last year, when we ended training camp, that was a playoff football team, right? That was a team coming off a playoff season. They had made it to the second round. They had played Kansas City tough. So I'm just guessing most people came out of training camp feeling pretty damn good about this team last year. Do you feel better? Do you feel worse? Do you feel the same? Let's set it up like that.
Do I feel better or worse?
Because remember now, the end of last season stunk. So
yeah. Well, listen, I think the projections last year on this team for me are a lot higher than they are right now.
Okay.
You know, and it has a lot to do with how they finished. Now I know you're supposed to put that behind you and move forward or whatever, but I still can't get that stench out of my mind of how this team just let 5 or 6 games go down the stretch. But do I think they're a Super Bowl contender? That's what I was thinking last year. Last year, I was thinking this team was a Super Bowl contender, the way they went toe-to-toe with Kansas City.
Well, you predicted them to go to the
I
Super Bowl.
did, absolutely.
I think you might have predicted them to win it,
I know. I'm glad I didn't. I did glad. I don't know if I picked them to win, but I did pick them to go to the Super Bowl.
Get there.
Yeah. I'm not that enthusiastic this year, but I feel good about this team that they can stay healthy. I feel good that this team can win the division despite all the love that's going to the Texans. I think this team, if it stays healthy, if the offensive line shores up, protects Trevor, can run the ball, interior of that offensive line, the defensive line can get after it, I think this team is a playoff team. I'm not as sky high as I was last year with this team, but I still believe this team can endure and make the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay, so where's your hesitation?
Hesitation is the interior of the offensive line. Being able to protect Trevor.
We have
that's
focused
the key.
on for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key. I mean, the key, if you can protect Trevor and give him time and run the football, which you haven't been able to do over the last, I'm not going to even go there, but we haven't been able to do it. Then we got a shot. I mean, my projections are moderate when it comes to interior of the offensive line. Hopefully they prove me wrong. I mean, I'm good with the tackles. Cam and Anton Harris, I'm good with those two guys. Interior offensive line, and I'm worried about the depth. I mean, if one of those guys go down, I mean, the depth is a shallow pool, Joe Cowart. It's a shallow pool. It really is. So I'm hoping those guys stay healthy. But I think compared to last year, I'm a little lukewarm on this team.
All right, so training camp this time a year ago versus now, Matt.
I'm concerned about both interiors, actually. The interior of the defense and the interior of the offense.
Which actually probably
Armstead
might have been the same last year, right?
Armstead is going to help. There's no doubt. And if he can stay healthy, I think it's going to be a big help, actually. But you look, they need that interior for so many different things on that defense. When you start talking about you're playing an even front, you've got two legit interior guys. You know, those are the guys that can control a run game. Those are the guys that can stop a run game. Those are the guys that can get pressure on a quarterback in his face, which is probably, and Leon could speak to this, more dangerous than pressure from the edge because you can avoid the pressure from the edge. I don't think they've got that. I think if Armstead's healthy, they may have that, and he's healthy and he's playing well.
Yeah.
And by healthy, I mean every week after week after week, because it's about availability. So if he's available every week and he's playing at a high level every week, he brings them that, obviously. So that's a concern. And of course, the other side of the ball, I've been saying this for 8 months now. Their middle three is not good.
Right. And you're going to find out whether their answer.
They've done nothing in this camp and did nothing in that first preseason game against the Chiefs to make you think, okay, yeah, the middle three, that question's solved, because it's not.
No, I agree with you. And interior defensive line, the key was Armstead. I mean, can he stay healthy? Can they stop the run? The first preseason game against the Chiefs, I mean, right up the middle. Running back right up the middle for about 20 yards, and I was like, here we go again. And as far as the offensive line goes, I mean, Trevor's not Santa, because he's got to keep people in his lap almost every game.
Yeah, he doesn't need that.
Yeah, he doesn't need that. Absolutely, he doesn't need that. So that's if somehow the two interiors of the offensive and defensive line can step it up, this team's got a shot.
All right, so let me set it up, and you guys can just tell us and try and go truth serum here, because I'm just guessing most of you, and I usually like to say all of Duval, I think most thought this was a playoff-bound team last year, and I was among them. Okay, I predicted a dozen dubs. I predicted inside the AFC South and the NFC South that they would win 10 ball games, which was a little over the top, but that's how enthusiastic my Augie optimism is. And so I can't say that I'm much more optimistic this year than I was last year, because I was pretty dang high on this team. But the one thing that does, at the very least, feel different is that after getting their butts beat in December physically, they decided they were going to toughen up. Now, you guys are doubters, and I understand it. I totally get it. But I want to find out if this team can be tougher and can run the football. And I feel better about that. Losing Calvin Ridley and gaining Brian Thomas Jr., losing Zay and gaining Gabe, I feel like this football team's got a chance to produce some points offensively, stretch the field offensively, have some dynamic playmakers. I said to Matt, I think, Leon, you might have been right there too, but Travis Etienne is going to be a factor in this receiving game more than I think we can imagine. Not like he's going to be over the top, but I just think he's going to be a really big new wrinkle. It's not like he hasn't caught the football before, but this does seem like there's going to be more opportunities, more good plays called by Doug and Press to get all these talented guys out in space making plays. So for that alone, I feel better.
Well, another one of my concerns is with the new defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen. Mm-hmm. I mean, I and listen, you're not going to tip your hand in practice. You're not going to tip your hand in preseason, but you've got to get more of a pass rush than Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker. All right, so I mean, I would like to see some of the variations when the game week one when we go against Miami. How are you going to get the linebackers involved, the safeties involved? How are you going to get the corners involved? How are you going to get the defensive tackle involved and getting pressure? Especially when 56% of the time you're running man coverage. All right, so if you run a man coverage, you're not getting home, then you're putting a lot of stress on those DBs that have to cover. So you got to get home. So I want to see those kind of variations of blitz that he's going to bring that's going to put pressure on the quarterback outside of our two phenoms that rush the passer.
So I'm going actually opposite of you. Mm-hmm. I mean, Etienne had 58 catches last year. Mm-hmm. I think he needs to catch the ball less. Well, because the ball's got to go to Gabe Davis, it's got to go to Christian Kirk, it's got to go to Brian Thomas Jr., it's got to go to Evan Ingram.
I think what I'm saying is that it's going to turn into more points. I think that's what I feel like. In other words, they're going to score more.
So what you're saying is better designed plays to get him the ball in the passing game.
They're going to
score
more.
I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
There's no way he should be catching 58 balls.
Or it could be pressure and checkdowns.
Mm-hmm. Right, which is that's what I'm saying. That's what his
the majority of
the majority of his catches were that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If he gets less of that means Trevor has more time to go through progressions and 5 things. And that's obviously goes directly to the middle three. Mm-hmm. And it goes directly to the offensive line. I think they're fine on the outside. I like Anton Harrison. I think Anton Harrison's going to be a stud. He's going to be their left tackle next year. Mm-hmm. And Cam, I was watching Cam the last couple of days. Cam's a big dude.
Oh my gosh,
he's
solid.
A
big dude. He's long and he can get his arms on you. That's it. If he gets his arms on you, forget about it.
When he wants to play angry, he can.
He is. He's a wily vet. He's a wily vet. I mean, as far as I'm watching that, he can position himself to where he gets some hands on you. You might as well wrap it up.
Right, if he's got that one.
Yeah.
If he's got that one, man,
And by the way,
he's got a.
I do think a lot of the personality can go through him of this football team, attitude, personality, all that, the players do vibe off of him. And I think maybe Eric Armstead could do the same thing on the other side of the ball. Obviously, Josh Hines-Allen is exhibiting some of that. So we'll see where it goes. All right, you guys let us know. 641-1010. It is a Corona Thursday as we get our weekend started. Don't forget, celebrate summer, but get ready for kickoff as well with a cold Corona. We will get into some of the thoughts that you guys have when you hit the text line at 641-1010 or jump on YouTube. And then we're going to jet off to some college football talk in this noon hour as well. It is XL Primetime on a Thursday.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. 1010XL takes you inside the program director's office with Dan and Jeff.
The fun's over. Anybody messes this thing up is through.
The Drill.
Not only are you fired, your life is over.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Don't mess up.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
At Garber Auto Mall, we can wiggle it. Best price, we can wiggle it. Best trade value, we can wiggle it. Best payment, we can wiggle it. Ford, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. With 8 American brands, we can wiggle it. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or online at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Yo, it's your boy E to the T. And are you ready for the ultimate college football season? Using MyBookie Sportsbook and casino platform, you can bet on every game and win anytime, anywhere, straight from your mobile device. No app needed. Just sign up at mybookie.com and you're ready to rock. Whether you're rooting for your alma mater or your favorite team, there's no better way to experience this season than having action on the game. And when you know your team well, it's an easy way to take advantage of procs like team win totals and early picks for playoff contention. Last year, MyBookie had some of the best odds on the market for the Wolverines to win the championship. And Michigan bettors who backed their squad saw 10 times the return on their wager. Lock your futures in now while you're waiting for the season to begin and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Come on, somebody.
Weekends were made for sports, and I'll tell you my take on this weekend's best options. Pick it here. Watch for Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan is brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, Underwoods has sold fine quality diamonds for a long time. Why is that important?
Frank, if you drew a line with the poorest diamonds with the lowest prices to the left and the highest quality to the right, our diamonds are at the far right end. Now, once we know the weight, the grading factors of cut, color, and clarity have to be considered. And the one that's talked about the least, but it's the most important to us, is the diamond's cut grade, because it has a huge implication on both the price and the beauty, and thus the value. I've bought diamonds for Underwoods for over 30 years, so I know what's out there. And the cut grade's just not important to most diamond sellers. That's really been the Underwood difference, because beautifully cut diamonds result in the most important thing they can do. They bring a joy of owning and wearing a diamond, not just today, but tomorrow and into the future. That's why it's important to us.
And it should be to you too, because nothing brings more joy than a diamond from Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra since 1928.
If you're an experienced, skilled plumber or welder that's MedGas certified and you're tired of working for a company that just doesn't treat you right, Local 234 is the place for you. Their pay is the best in the business. You'll walk away with $35.09 an hour in your pocket. With benefits, that's just over $50 an hour. Local 234 has been around since 1901, and that means something. Visit UA234.com to send your resume. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com, WM.com, and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's The Mangler. Go Team WM, and as always, Duval!
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
There's certain places you know if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Cold Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bold City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate, full of choices and all of them good.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, a team that the Jaguars are going to see pretty dang early in the season, and a guy who had him a pretty good game and a career when you go back over the last handful of years. Adam Schefter reporting that Bills Pro Bowl linebacker Matt Milano, leaving Tuesday's practice injured, tore his bicep and will now be out indefinitely. Milano will undergo surgery on his torn bicep with the hope of trying to return later this season, possibly in December. That's bad news for Milano, bad news for the Bills. They're looking at a depletion of talent and maybe an aging roster, because Milano's been a pretty dang good player for a long time. Remember, he went down with an injury against Jacksonville last year. Anyway, you know about that torn bicep.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if it feels anything like a torn tricep, I know the feeling. It hurts like hell. Absolutely hurts.
And it instantly ends your year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You're done. I mean, that after the surgery, I mean, 6 months, 6 to 8 months is the quickest you can come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Now, listen, if you're on YouTube and you see us, I don't know, maybe in the middle of our show picking our teeth, it's because Matt smoked another unbelievable. Was it a shoulder? Was it a butt? What was it? Yeah.
It was a butt.
Oh, my gosh.
It's good.
It's so good.
It is. RJ, I had to make sure you didn't come get the big piece of chicken either.
You better come get some.
But you kept telling me I need to come over and eat it before you ate it all.
Oh, yeah, of course. I don't share.
Well, it's delicious, that's for sure. All right, so that's not good news for Buffalo. The training camp for fans and for us, for that matter, has come to an end because it's broken. We'll hear what Doug had to say about it earlier. But let's set up our X poll, RJ, because basically, like we laid it out in the first part of our show, most people had to have a pretty good feeling about this football team last year at this time. Do you have a better feeling? Anyway, go ahead and set it up for us.
Absolutely. Our XO Primetime X poll question brought to you by the good folks at Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet. With Jaguars camp now broken, how do you feel about this year's Jaguars squad as opposed to last year's team? You can vote on X. Just search us at 1010XL. And 50% of the vote right now in favor of a lot better, Joe.
Okay, see, I think, and you left it wide open, and you guys can reply or just vote, but replies are always welcome because if you're looking at it at the end of last year, you probably are feeling a lot better. But if you remind yourself of how good you felt at the beginning, of 2023, or around this time a year ago, you may have to admit that you probably felt better about that team because that team was coming off the playoffs. This one isn't. So either way you want to go with it, just go to 1010XL on X and give us a thought or a vote. Now, Leon, they broke camp today.
I know. Surprising.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, how long has it been? It's been a few weeks, and so that would at least classify to me as a tough training camp.
Yeah, amusement part.
And then we reassessed.
Yeah, we had to reassess. Yeah.
And in the words of Frank Costanza, RJ,
The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances.
All right, Leon.
I have a few.
Yeah, you do?
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, Matt, first of all, I came out with my grievances because Matt Hayes in the production meeting said, you sound a little jelly. And I am. I am in particular. I am jealous a little bit.
When I said to Leon, they broke camp, he goes, what?
I mean, come on. If they broke camp, that was a sip of coffee if they broke camp in 2 weeks, bro. Was it 2 weeks?
It wasn't even a cup of coffee. It was a sip of coffee.
It was a sip of coffee, yeah.
It's technically 3 weeks because it started on the 24th.
The first 5 days were nothing.
First 5 days, they were running around in shorts and shirts, bro.
Give us an example of what you had if you are going to air some grievances.
Well, okay. So I'm going a little old school now. I mean, our training camp was 6 weeks, all right? It was 6 weeks, and it was 6 weeks of two-a-days. And two-a-days, the assessment of two-a-days was like this. It started at 6 in the morning. You had to wake up and go to breakfast. You had to check into breakfast, so you got fined.
Right.
And then after you had breakfast, you came over here. You had to get your workout in. You can get your workout in. You got fined. So after your workout, you had team meeting. All the team get together. After your team meeting, you had individual meeting. After your individual meeting, you practice from 1:30 to 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And after 4 o'clock, you conditioned for 30 minutes. Then you came back in, you ate, and then you would go and watch film at 6 o'clock, 6 to 8. Then you broke with your team meeting. You got your snack, and you were home by 10. Curfew was at 11.
Right.
That was 6 weeks. That was training camp, and it was full gear, first day. Full gear, second day. Next day was just uppers, and then you got the day off, and then you start all over again.
and all right, so play Doug Peterson, the first soundbite that he had from earlier today. This got courtesy of Jaguars.com. But RJ, he's talking about obviously working with the Bucks, and then basically you're trying to get down to where you're going to have to make some decisions on who's going to play these last couple of preseason games, and then obviously who's going to make this team.
Yeah, I thought it went well. Good competition out there. It was a lot of plays when you think about it. I think we had 90-plus reps, both sides, So, you're playing maybe a game and a half of practice, but it was good. Again, great competition. It was good to go against another opponent. Todd does a great job of coaching his players, obviously, and it was good.
All right, so he knows that it's a different world because he was around the same time you're talking about.
Yeah.
And now they even limit the amount of padded practices once they get to the regular season that they can have.
You know what? Listen, when I was out there the other day and I was talking to a couple of people who I will remain nameless, they were saying that they were thumping, but they weren't hitting. You know what I'm saying? They were giving each other a good jolt, but it wasn't any follow through it. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it was coordinated. It wasn't with a fine it wasn't finely choreographed. I'm just saying that they didn't go, full throttle, so to say. Yeah, I mean, and I understand that you don't want guys to get hurt, you don't want guys hitting the ground and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, it was disgusting. Let me just say that.
It's worth pointing out too. It's worth pointing out that just listen to some of the injuries that these teams are dealing with.
That's a part of the game, though, Joe.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get around that. Guy's going to get hurt.
And you and I are in the same camp when I simply say, and I agree with Bill Belichick, the first guy to point this out, that hitting will help prevent injuries as opposed to lead.
Believe it or not, it will.
Yeah,
it really will. But listen, you can't argue with it because of the players. They collectively bargain for what they got right now. Yeah. They get paid to do much less. And I don't have a problem with that.
Right. Oh yeah.
Do I?
Right, because your list of grievances doesn't end there.
It doesn't. It doesn't. But I listen. This is the new NFL. You've got to evolve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. You either evolve or you go extinct.
Now, the other half of this is just as far as our poll question is concerned, just talking about whether or not this football team do you feel better about them? Well, if it's the end of last year versus now, then most people are going to say, hell yeah. it's much better. I like what I see. If it's this time a year ago versus now, it may not be the exact same answer. But just go to the Titans practice.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Ridley yesterday kind of got panned by reviews of his performance and not necessarily standing out as well as the Titans or Brian Callahan, the new head coach, want him to be. Meanwhile, Brian Thomas Jr. is accelerating in the eyes of his quarterback, his coach, his position coach, fans with what they've seen. So we may end up looking back and going, you know what? I'm glad they didn't pay $50 million to Calvin Ridley and spend a first-round pick on a new talent.
Well, that's very interesting because I remember the attention and the fanfare that was directed towards Calvin when he came here.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, Calvin had a great camp when he was here. I mean, the long balls, the catches, the toe touches. I remember me and Matt Hayes was sitting there on the sideline. I remember he was doing the ladder drill and his feet were just going through the ladder. I was like, I said, this man looks,
I was gushing.
He looked like a phenom. I just said, man, it's going to be a lot of touchdowns between him and Trevor. And now, you know, he gets his money, he gets paid, and see this is what people say that once you get fat on the hole when you get that bread, you know. So he's not having that bigger camp. I'm just telling you that's going to be the narrative. Now he's gotten paid, right? You know, maybe he's not performing as well and kind of stuff. So you got to be leery of that kind of stuff. Once a guy gets paid, he goes in the camp and doesn't look as well as he looked before.
I think you can't help but avoid. Yeah. You can't help but avoid. When you look at what he did look like here, and then when he goes to play for the enemy, you can't help but avoid, or not avoid, but just basically root against him and say, you know what, I hope he does get full of himself and get a little fat and get a little comfortable and $50 million guaranteed in his pocket. But here's the rub will always be, do you pay a guy to come in from free agency or do you draft and develop a guy? And even though Trent Baalke made a play for Calvin. Calvin could have said yes, but he ultimately did not. I laughed when he said it. He basically said, they paid me more, and that's why I went to Nashville versus Jacksonville. And so now Brian Thomas has got to prove that he is the weapon going forward.
Yeah, and I think he will be from what I've seen in practice. I mean, the kid, I would know it was simulated today, and we didn't show it, but as far as the deep ball threat, he's definitely that.
And that will help this offensive line. Trust me. And I know you know that, but that part of the deep threat, pulling defenders off of the line of scrimmage with that guy legitimately able to make plays down the field, and Gabe,
yeah,
and
but you got to protect an extra half second.
Yeah, you do.
To get him in that. You're talking about him running those deep 9 routes. He's got to.
Those long crosses.
You're right.
Yeah, the long crosses. Even the high-low stuff, man, you got to protect.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And just to, I think what your point you had at the beginning of the show, Matt, is that Baker completed his share against the secondary. Well, they also have a pretty good front up there.
Yeah.
They do protect him long enough to make some of those throws that Mike Evans is benefiting from down the field, or Godwin, whoever it might be. And so that type of stuff does need to happen. But, yeah, let's get him on skates. Let's protect for 2.5 seconds, and let's hit him for 15, 18 yards down the field, whatever it might be. All right, you guys, we'll get to some of your comments coming up here in just a second. A Corona Thursday as we help kick off our weekend. You can kick off yours as well. Don't forget, Corona's going to set you up with tailgate opportunities that you can win monthly right here on the Superstation, and you can enjoy a Corona Premier, Corona Extra, Corona Light. Just make sure that you enjoy summer as long as it lasts, and then get ready to kick off the season.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it. You.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Jennifer, Luxury has a new address in Jacksonville.
Oh, do tell, John.
Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard. We've got over 40 Cadillac Lyrics in stock.
40? That's incredible. Any color you want?
You bet. Pick your color and drive away today. Plus, we're giving away a free home charger with every Lyric.
Fantastic. Anything else?
How about a car you'll never have to change the oil on?
No oil changes ever? Now that's luxury.
Randy Marion Cadillac, where Jacksonville meets luxury.
Visit us today on Southside Boulevard and tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O. If you want high-quality water throughout your home, call your local water boy. We install equipment to solve any water problem. WaterBoyJAX.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 15, 1990, first baseman Mark McGwire is the first to hit 30 home runs in each of his first 4 seasons.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's going to be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary. That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool. They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This summer, beat the heat at Best Bet, your premier poker destination. Whether you're a seasoned poker pro or a first-time card player, you'll find a cool retreat from the summer heat with thrilling poker games, big payouts, and refreshing drinks. Join us for an unforgettable experience. Cool off and cash in at Best Bet. The stakes are high, the cards are hot, and your chance for fun is guaranteed. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Googan Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Firehouse Subs, Hook and Ladder jingle, take 1.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin sliced honey.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast spread, mustard, mayo, purpose bread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
For over 40 years, Play It Again Sports has served its customers with a winning, sustainable shopping model. Could say, we were recycling before recycling was cool. Save on quality used sporting goods for baseball, softball, lacrosse, hockey, golf, tennis, and more. Or sell us your gently used gear. We buy all sports, all seasons, and offer cash on the spot. Stop by Play It Again Sports today on Merrill Road near 295 or online at playitagainsports.com.
Want to show your kids something really cool? Take them by the Kuhn Flowers window display on Beach Boulevard. 1010XL's RJ Saunders here, and there's no better way to introduce your kids to Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Rookie wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr., looking to keep making a name for himself, spoke with 1010XL's Hayes Carline yesterday on the pride he has in his run blocking.
You got to take pride in the run game, just blocking, whether it's just finishing plays. That's how you spring the big plays. Just finishing. Got to take a lot of pride in that. We take a lot of pride in that as a wide receiver room. So yeah.
JTA Game Day Express is back. Save gas and avoid parking hassles as the Jaguars take on the Buccaneers this Saturday. Let them do the driving with multiple locations around town and passes starting at just $10 on the My JTA app. To learn more, visit jtafla.com. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, little news coming out of Columbus, Ohio. The Ohio State University has named its starting quarterback Will Howard. The guy they got from the transfer portal from K-State. He beat out Julian Sain, the redshirt freshman. A true freshman, and then also another true freshman, Aaron Nolan, and of course Devin Brown from last year.
So he replaces Kyle McCord.
Who went to Syracuse and was basically told it's not happening for you.
It's just nuts.
I mean, he didn't play that poorly. They just didn't beat Michigan, so they had to move on.
Can you imagine leaving Ohio State and not working out at Syracuse? Think about that.
So the reason why they did this, and the reason why, because I know people are out there going, Will Howard, what are you, crazy? So when Ryan Day made the decision to bring Chip Kelly in to run his offense, the idea of what Ohio State has been since Ryan Day got there, the pass-happy offense where the quarterback's throwing 40 touchdowns no matter who it is, those days are gone. Now it's Chip Kelly. Now it's going to be a lot of the zone read, inside zone stuff. Howard. Which is 100% Will Howard. He is a dual-threat quarterback. He's a willing runner. He's a big dude. In 4 years at K-State, he had 48 touchdowns, 23 interceptions, completed 59% of his passes. He's not really a thrower, but he averaged 4 yards a carry and had 19 touchdowns, rush touchdowns. So he's what they're looking for right now. He may not be the dynamic type of Dennis Dixon that was there at Oregon with Chip Kelly. He may not be that type of guy.
Yeah.
He may not be the Marcus Mariota type guy that they had at Oregon once Chip left and Mark Helfrich had. But he's going to be a willing runner. They're going to run the ball with Judkins and with Trayvon Henderson, and it's going to be a different team. They're still going to throw it, obviously, but they are going to rely on a big offensive line and the way they can run the ball between the tackles.
Yeah, the fact that Henderson's back. And it's so funny because we did spar about whether or not this Kansas cat would make it as the starter as a Buckeye quarterback. And at the very least, he is experienced. He is accomplished. He has his flaws. But I agree with the sentiment that Chip Kelly is going to basically kind of transition.
They're also trying to say, okay, Michigan, you got physical with us. Now we're going to get physical back.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. I mean, does that ground and pound? I mean, I'm so used to the Ohio State quarterbacks that come through, like you said, throwing 40 touchdowns a game, dynamic down there. I mean, they're going to totally. I mean, they're not going to totally exclude themselves from that, but they're going to be a much more physical. Is that going to work? Is the question.
I mean, it's worked before. It worked under Herb. When Herb was there, that's what they did. They ran the ball.
But go back and think either Herb or Ryan Day, how many wide receivers have been shipped off to the National Football League because of what they did do. Even though they were physical and they ran, they certainly got
threw the ball,
down the field. And it goes all the way back to Michael Thomas. You can just go on and on and on with the receivers.
But the last time they won the national championship, they won it because of Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But that was over 10. That was over a decade ago, wasn't it?
It was a decade.
2014.
Yeah, 2014. Yeah, I mean, with this era, with everything going vertical, I mean, can they afford themselves to be that kind of team? If they get behind and they can't throw the ball, I mean.
Well, see, I think Will Howard still represents that, and who knows what happens with Julian Sain or any of these other guys that are still in the competition.
Mm-hmm.
But he does represent the ability to do it, but he has the multifaceted skill set to be able to run that RPO.
See, here's the thing is, I think it's going to look somewhere like a cross between what J.T. Barrett was when they were there and kind of like Cardell Jones, who was a thrower, but isn't really a runner. Did what he had to do.
Yeah.
Whereas Barrett was more of Barrett threw the ball and he had 35 touchdowns, I think, in his last season there. But he wasn't really a guy who you're like, all right, we're gonna win with him as a thrower. A lot of his touchdowns were also the short stuff that the receivers took and turned into touchdowns. I see that more with Ohio State, is where they're going to try and get the ball to an elite group of receivers, including Emeka Egbuka, and they're just going to get him the ball and try and get him in space so they can do things with it. But the majority of what they're going to want, they are going to impose their will with Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, and they are going to run the ball between the tackles. And they've now decided, okay, Michigan made the move. They've won 3 in a row against Ohio State. They've won 3 Big Ten championships in a row. They won last year's national title.
Right.
By doing what they do. So now they have to match it. They've got to, okay, you did that. We've got to match it now.
So if the Buckeyes do kind of turn in that direction, and the fact that Ryan Day was willing to give up play calling duties to a friend and basically, I don't know if I'd call him a mentor, but anyway.
Oh, he's definitely a mentor.
Yeah, okay. So a guy that he looked up to for a long time, and Chip Kelly. And by the way, Kelly leaves a head coaching gig to be an offensive coordinator, which is already weird, just weird sounding that Chip Kelly says, you know what?
That program's in disarray.
Yeah, but he also had something to do with it being in disarray.
He is part of it, but it's also they're not committed there at all to football.
No. He is going to a place where they're 100% committed to winning a national championship. And the whole narrative is that Ryan Day surrendering play calling duties, knowing that he needs to bring somebody in to change it up to where they can finally get over that hump. It's not like they haven't been in a lot of important football games at the end of the season, semifinal games, college football playoff games, and weren't able to quite get it done. Now they got to prove that they got the formula. They got a lot of talent, and now they've got a play caller who is respected.
But the way they recruit and the way they get people there, they're going to be in the playoff every year. If they're not in the playoff every year, there's something drastically wrong. So then the question is, okay, how do you beat Michigan? How do you win the Big Ten? Because they need to be in one of those, at least for the next 2 years, the last 2 years of this current contract, playoff contract. They need to be in one of those top 4 seeds to get a first-round bye. And the only way they're doing that is by winning the conference championship. If they don't, then they're going to be in the next group that has to play in the first round. And again, I keep saying this, it's different. I know you guys say, well, it's going to be the same 2 people playing the championship. It's not. When you've got to go multiple steps to get to that final championship game, strange things can happen.
All right. The All-America team came out yesterday. 4 players with unanimous preseason All-America selections. Ollie Gordon, who's a fun cat to watch. They don't necessarily make these running backs as often as they used to, maybe back in Searcy's day. But Oklahoma State is going to live and die through Ollie. And Ollie was a guy that was getting some Heisman attention last year. They've got a decent schedule.
Good player.
Yeah, really good player. And they got a decent schedule and a chance maybe to make some noise for the Big 12 title. Offensive lineman Will Campbell out of Michigan, also a unanimous selection. Linebacker Will Johnson and LSU offensive lineman Will Campbell. Let me make sure I get that right. And then Michigan linebacker Will Johnson. I had those Wills.
Searcy's got a good story about Will Campbell.
Oh, yeah. I saw Will Campbell. I think it was on Instagram. He was under the squat rack, right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to count the place, but it had to be somewhere between 600 to 700 pounds on the squat rack, right? So he gets underneath the squat rack, and this guy is filming. He takes the weight off the bar, and he looks at the camera, and he winks. And he goes down with no problem and comes back up with it. And I throws it back on the bar. I was like, oh, I love it.
That's intimidating.
He got some moxie, bro. I was trying to count the place. He had to have at least 700 pounds on that squat rack. And he did it effortlessly. I mean, he went down, came right up, and threw it on the rack.
So he will be, obviously, if everything goes as expected, a top 5 pick, first offensive lineman off the board, that type of stuff.
Yeah, he's that elite.
Yeah. And then Will Johnson, the linebacker from Michigan, Malachi Starks, defensive back for Georgia. Those are the 4 that were unanimous All-America.
Caleb Downs wasn't unanimous?
No, it says Gordon and Starks among 4 players who come back as preseason first-team picks, but just those 4 were unanimous selections. You know how the media is. They come up with all kinds of different reasons and rationale for maybe not voting somebody.
Media.
But they got a handful of other guys that you would expect. And it leads us to another little grouping. And I'm looking at the top 10 college football players. RJ, I wouldn't mind a little college football music underneath this just to kind of get people a little fired up. Because you take a look at the All-America team, you take a look at the top 10 players in college football. Where do they hail from? There's a bunch of them that are going to be playing on your SEC Saturday or your Big Ten Saturday. As far as first-team selections, the SEC has a dozen. They have 21.
12 of the 24?
Yeah, a dozen. Big Ten has 7. Big 12 has 4. Maybe this is, this is first team. Big Ten has 7. Big 12 has 4. ACC has 3. 1 for Notre Dame. And then when you have total team selections, you got 21 from the SEC, 16 from the Big Ten, a half dozen from the Big 12, 5 from the ACC, 4 from Notre Dame. They've got a handful of good ones.
How can the Big Ten have 16 team selections if they only have 7 players on the team?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the total team selection. So 7 on the first and then 16 total.
So there's a second team.
Probably second. I don't even know if there's a third team or not.
All right.
Yeah, you'd have to add it up because right now, if you're looking, it's got to be third team because you're looking at a total right now, 37, 42, 47, 51, 54. So that's a bunch more. All right, top 10 players. James Pierce is coming into this year regarded.
Who is this according to?
On 3.
On 3, okay.
Top 10.
Okay.
James Pierce is a guy that everyone's basically put at their top of their way too early NFL draft list. So most people regard him as the best player in college football right now.
He's undersized. He's not your typical – he's just an edge guy. He's an outside linebacker edge guy. He probably weighs 240, 245.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he's – this is per ESPN, you said? No, it's per On 3, RJ. We're looking at it right now. Oh, per ESPN. Okay, it just was put out by On 3.
Okay, thank you, RJ. All right, so –
Those dirty rats, man, stealing stuff. Stealing stuff.
Well, they're just putting it out there.
But it says On 3, they tweet it out, and then in really tiny letters it says per ESPN.
Okay, well, at least we gave him credit. James Pierce is
Good
a
player.
guy, for
9
Tennessee.
sacks last year. Good player.
That Josh Heupel's going to be relying heavily on to wreak havoc in backfields. He's going to be a guy that they think can make those types of plays. And, heck, we thought this maybe about Harold Perkins a year ago, and it didn't necessarily happen. But James Pierce is that guy that they expect. Mason Graham, another one of the offensive linemen for Michigan.
Grown man. He's a defensive lineman.
Defensive lineman.
Yeah. Excuse me, defensive lineman.
I like him. I like his motor. He reminds me of that kid from Florida State, a bigger version. What was the kid that went the second round for Florida State? Defensive tackle.
Brandon Fisk?
Fisk, but he's a bigger version of him.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's a grown man.
He's top 10 grown man.
Yeah, he's a grown man.
So you got offensive and defensive linemen in the first 4 picks as far as the top 10 from ESPN is concerned, Mason Graham and Will Johnson. So both sides of the ball in the maize and blue being served there. Travis Hunter plays both sides of the ball.
That's an interesting question. Let's stop real quick with Travis Hunter. They have him listed as wide receiver or corner. Knowing what guys are getting paid now, doesn't he have to play wide receiver if you're him?
Well, if you look at the money.
And the corners are close.
Yeah. If you look at the money that the wide receiver is getting now, that's probably the main reason why he said, you know what? I'm starting at cornerback for you, Dion, but you're going to make me primetime by letting me go play on the other side of the ball. Because now we're talking about receivers like Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase once he gets paid. These guys are in that, what, $28, $29, $30 million.
Yeah.
So, that's it. That's probably where he'll lean.
What's Tyson Campbell's average out to 20? What is it, 20?
It's in that 22 range. I'd have to go look.
Yeah.
But it's not as much as the wide receiver.
Yeah, but my only concern with Travis Hunter is the amount of plays, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't be going 100 plays a game.
No.
It
happened. I mean, Chris Gamble did it a while back at Ohio State. But, I understand what you're saying.
But did you see that game what did they play against Arizona? And he was just totally gassed. And
120-something plays.
Oh, man, they torched him towards the end.
So he needs to get choosy. Yeah. And it doesn't mean like you feel like if you're a cornerback, you can't walk off the field. And then when you are on the other side, you want to make plays if you're that wide receiver. All right, real quick, and then we'll hit this in the next hour. Luther Burton III is a very, very good player for Mizzou. Mizzou's bringing back quite a bit of talent, so he's among their top players. Will Campbell, we just mentioned him, what he was able to do down in Baton Rouge. Carson Beck is among the 10 best.
Way too low for Carson Beck, by the way.
Yeah.
Way too low.
Yeah. Well, they've got him 7th, and so you would think he's going to move up. And the thing is that he barely got love late in the year. But, yeah, he will be, when it's all said and done, it'll probably be, if James Pierce has the year
if Kirby Smart does what he says they're going to do, and they throw the ball, and they're not like Alabama used to be when they were in the national championship. They're more like Alabama at the later end with Sark and all.
Yeah,
he'll have a monster year, like 400 yards passing, 40 touchdowns. He'll win the Heisman.
Well, I mean, he's my Heisman pick.
Yeah, you can't get away from the potential of what he's got in front of him, and so that's one of the main reasons he came back. Natty / Heisman is what he's thinking, but he'll dart up this list, and he'll be right there with James Pierce Jr. as the number 1 player in college football if it goes the way you guys are picturing it being scripted. Ollie Gordon and then Kelvin Banks are 8 and 9, and then Malachi Starks is 10th. So we'll keep it going with a little college football talk when we get into the 1 o'clock hour, and then back to your Jaguars as they are getting ready. Basically what you saw the last couple of days, starters playing against the Bucs. You ain't going to see nearly as many starters in the bank Saturday night, but we will definitely get to that. A Corona Thursday right here on XL Primetime. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, and RJ every Thursday. We're on from noon to 2.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Find the high groove. It's showtime. This Sunday at Michigan International Speedway. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on your NASCAR station. 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
The hottest trend in casual dining has expanded in Jacksonville with its 5th location off 103rd. The Flame Broiler serves up protein-packed rice bowls. It's fast, healthy, and affordable. Order online at flamebroilerusa.com or visit any of our 5 locations. Flame Broiler, simply healthy.
Roof damage? Call before you claim. Green Law Group, fighting insurance companies for you. They will work for you when you have roof damage. Don't let your insurance deny you. Don't call an adjuster. Call Green Law Group at 904-302-7055. Remember, if you have roof damage, call Green Law Group before you claim. They've settled millions and will work hard to get your claim and new roof. Green Law Group. Call before you claim. 904-302-7055.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
It's soccer around the world, and here at home on the Sporting Jack Soccer Hour, Monday evenings on 1010 a.m. Join Cole Pepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley for Soccer Talk.
Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
Mia here. Are you ready for the ultimate college football season? Using MyBookie Sportsbook and casino platform, you can bet on every game and win anytime, anywhere, straight from your mobile device, no app needed. Just sign up at MyBookie.com and you're ready to rock. Whether you're rooting for your alma mater or your favorite team, there's no better way to experience the season than having action on the games. When you know your team well, it's an easy way to take advantage of props like team win totals or early picks for playoff contention. Last year, MyBookie had some of the best odds on the market for the Wolverines to win the national championship, and Michigan bettors who backed their squad saw a 10 times return on their wager. These types of bets highlight why it's worth it to lay an investment before the season begins. Lock your futures in now while you're waiting for the season to begin, and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus up to $1,000 on that first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to start the season with house money. Don't ever miss out on the action. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hacker here with a new opportunity for you. The 20-pound summer slim down with Awaken 180 weight loss. Dropping 20 pounds before summer ends, cruising to your goal of 30, 40, 50-plus pounds down. It's simple. You take the last few weeks of summer, eating, drinking, enjoying the weather, but the difference? You're doing it with the 20-pound summer slim down. But you say, Hack, summer's almost over. Well, that's the point. The pounds melt off fast with Awaken 180. I dropped my first 20 in less time, and that easy 20 propelled me to reach my goal of losing over 85 pounds. Think about it. You're about to slide back into the same old fall routine with the same old mindset. Mix it up. Live up the rest of your summer while dropping the first 20. Then jump into fall with a whole new groove. Yeah, I said it, and you'll be saying it too in just a few weeks. 20-pound summer slim down with the solution for weight loss. Online, awaken180weightloss.com.
Well, all the news forecasts say that home prices are expected to decline in 2025. Hey, that's great if you're buying a home. But if you're selling one, you might want to get to it. And when it comes to selling your home, the agents you should trust are Chad and Sandy Newman at chadandsandy.com. Maybe you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not sure how. And you don't want to worry about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. Those things are all out with Chad and Sandy. They're the local real estate experts you can trust, and I recommend for the sale of your home, or for the sale of mine for that matter, maybe I should look into it. Hey, don't trust me. Trust Jacqueline from Biscayne Estates. My inherited home became a nightmare when it went unsold for 177 days and ended up with a large lien. With expenses mounting for my handicapped daughter and no way to pay, I was desperate. At this point, I turned to Chad and Sandy. The change was amazing. Chad and Sandy sold my home in 3 days at a higher than asking price. Find out for yourself at chadandsandy.com or 904-414-6200.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. The Gators wrapped up their 12th practice of fall camp yesterday with camp concluding next week. Florida head coach Billy Napier is still looking to see more explosive plays on the offense.
We move the ball really well. We're very consistent. We score a lot of points. But I'm just saying, we know that explosive plays are a significant piece of winning, right? So we just want to, we were a little short of our goal, and that's an area where we're trying to put an emphasis this week.
FSU football senior punter Alex Mastromano was named a preseason first-team All-American by Sporting News yesterday. Mastromano led Florida State to rank third nationally in net punting average, with 26 punts inside the 20-yard line and just 3 touchbacks. Swinging over to baseball, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp defeated the Memphis Redbirds 7-2 last night and now lead the series 2-0. Game 3 will be tonight at 7:05. It's 85 degrees at 1 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
You know, I'm still scanning the All-America team, taking a look at the top 10 players from ESPN, the number of players in the SEC and the Big Ten. And we'll throw a theme around that as far as your local schools are concerned. 1 o'clock hours here at XL Primetime every Thursday. We roll from noon until 2. Joe C., Matt Hayes, Big Searcy, RJ Saunders, and the Frangie Show pops on at 2 o'clock this afternoon because Jaguars programming takes over at 4. So you got a full afternoon as we get back to Jaguar football coming up in just a bit. You got Into the Night with Rick Ballou, Hacker After Dark, and they were talking to Jaguar players as camp broke earlier today. That you will definitely want to hear from as they get their coverage going. Hayes Carline doing it as well. So we've got tickets to give away this Saturday night. So stick around in this coming segment. We'll give you an opportunity to pick those up. But I'm looking at the first team, and I'm just going to rattle off a few of them. We already mentioned the guys that were unanimous All-America selections. Carson Beck was not, but as we were just talking about, the idea is that he could just shoot right up the draft board and the Heisman chatter and obviously put his team into the national championship conversation if he has the year that we're talking about, which is just kind of take advantage of all the talent around him, air it out, put a bunch of points on the board, and then let someone try and track him down. But Carson is the All-America starting first-team quarterback. And then you got a handful of others. And so I see this list littered with SEC schools, Big Ten schools. You also have a few from the other conferences like we were talking about. But let's get to closer to home. I'm really not seeing any Florida State at the top when it comes to the All-America team because they just said goodbye to a hell of a lot of good players.
Right.
Same for Miami, same for Florida. What's it going to take for them to get back to where their regular schools being mentioned when it comes to the top players in America? And then let's follow that with how quickly can they get back into the top 10 discussion?
Well, I mean, Florida State AP.
Florida State's there right now.
Top 10. I mean, the one thing Mike Norvell has always done well is he's recruited well. He's hit the portal well, and he's developed players well. I mean, the reason why Florida State has this nice little run over the last couple of years of dominance over Miami and Florida is because of the outstanding job he's done as a head coach. So I wouldn't be worried about Florida State. They lost a lot of starters, but listen, you don't rebuild, you reload.
Mm-hmm. Which is what he's doing now.
Exactly. You don't rebuild, you reload. So I'm pretty sure he's been a stickler for finding guys in the portal, developing guys. So as many guys they lost in the NFL, I'm sure there's going to be the guys who are at center stage are going to come and answer the bell.
I mean, there's talent in that team.
Yeah.
That team in that flex field last week, believe me, if they're not in someone's top 10 list right now, which this was ESPN's top 10 best players in college football, by the end of the year, Patrick Payton absolutely could be among the 10 best players in college football.
Mm-hmm.
Ventrell Cyphers could easily be
Benson too.
Ventrell Cyphers could easily be an All-American. Look, I think Marvin Jones Jr., watching him, I mean, you look at that dude, what do you guys call it, off the hoof, when you just looking at him?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Off the bus, on the hook.
Grown man.
Yeah, he's a grown man.
I don't know how Kirby let that cat get away. I'll tell you that right now. And he looks good out there. So there are guys that I think can develop. Like Miami, I think Ruben Bain could be among the top 10, 15 players in the game by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
He's another one. Cam Ward. If Cam Ward has a huge season, you're going to see a lot of people talking about it.
Okay, so spin off of...
What about the running back for Miami that we got from...
Yeah. I don't know about top 10 or 15, but okay. I think it's more Cam Ward. I think their two best bets are probably Cam Ward and Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain, I think, is going to have a monster year.
And then as far as Florida is concerned, a Trey Wilson could become that type of guy.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but there aren't as many, and that's what he's trying to figure out right now.
No, I think I'll give you another one, and you may laugh at this, but I think Jason Marshall's got a chance to revert back to his freshman year and really play well this year.
Have him have a bounce back, and then have a healthy bounce back for James.
Yeah,
that would be another guy that has the potential.
Yeah.
Of maybe making something happen.
What's Matt, in your assessment, out of the big three schools, I mean, who is the more likely of the three to make the playoffs, depending on their schedule and their quarterback and all that's in play?
I think you got to say Miami. I think you have to.
Sure?
Yeah, I do. I think
Florida State's going to be favored.
I think Miami has a better roster, believe it or not. I do. I do. And more than anything, I think they got the better quarterback.
Okay, so right now, if most people are being asked this question, it's a foot race between the two ACC schools as opposed to Florida.
By a long way.
Yeah, and it's because of a variety.
And
of
I hate to put pressure on. I hate to put pressure on
No
you,
pressure.
bro, but like you guys lose that game, that's a devastating blow. And oh, by the way, JJ's nervous about that game.
Yeah,
we've now officially hit JJ panic time.
JJ's worried. JJ is worried about all the love that Miami's getting. I said, embrace it, bro.
Yeah.
Embrace it. It's been a long time since we've been loved like this.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. If loving
Thank you, RJ.
listen. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you look at the roster he's built, like they are built to win a title.
Well, the other part of this is, and like we said, how soon do you get into the college football playoff conversation? Florida State is there. Okay, Florida State is riding off of the rip-off job in their mind that they got last year. They got jacked up by the committee, and we all know why, because of the injury to Jordan Travis. That is why. But beyond that, they're the closest to being in it. And then Miami, and let's just face it, the Any Coast Conference, the All Coast Conference, they have a schedule where they can clip off quite a few wins. Florida in the SEC does not have the benefit of that type of schedule. They just don't, especially down the stretch. So if you are looking at, if it is going to be a foot race between two, it's going to be the two ACC schools, at least for the here and now. Now, if Florida can win that first game, then things change opinion-wise as far as what Florida's capable of. How much closer do they get to the college football playoff conversation? I don't know. I don't know. They would have to keep picking off higher regarding
Then
teams.
I'd probably have to shake you and wake you up a little bit. That's what I'd probably have to do.
If they start off 4-0 and they beat A&M and Miami, look out.
Oh, he's on that train. You on that train. He's on that train. I know he's already on that train.
Listen, Gators need hope too. Okay?
Hey, I will say that if they beat Miami, that's a great win.
Yeah.
Even though it's at home, that's a great win because Miami has got a lot of talent.
You'll hear that band, RJ. You will hear that band. That's right. And if they can get out of the blocks hot and they can create that environment and get after Cam Ward and they win that football game, then that confidence will grow mightily for them. But schedule's a schedule. It ain't an easy one.
Bro, you're getting taunted on the text line. I'm just telling you.
I'm getting what?
You're getting taunted on the text line.
What?
Some guy just said Leon on 831. So 910 said Leon on 831. He put the photo up of you the last time y'all played the Gators in Orlando, and you had that cigar in your mouth, and you had what the bleep is going on here?
The angry smoke.
It happens. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen this August 31st. How about that?
Yeah, the angry.
I see it. I was angry. I mean, that was after sack 7. Gave up
What, they have like 9 sacks or something?
Bro, it was ridiculous. We had 2 freshman tackles, and I was just running through them like water.
Yeah,
that was Manny.
It was terrible.
It was beautiful. And
it was so bad. I wanted to take my. I went before the game. I pounded up Manny Diaz.
Did you?
I wanted to take my pound back.
Well, the thing is that both of these schools have gone through hope with coaches. And as Matt says, hope ain't a plan. And they've gone through hope with coaches. But
the difference is Mario's won back-to-back Pac-12 titles.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say, well, it was the Pac-12. So what?
No,
he still won conference championships. He knows how to win a conference championship.
Yeah, he's put together good football teams. Manny was hope. He really was. And you can go to any of the other ones that Florida's hired or even before Manny. They hired Randy Shannon with
was
hope.
Yeah. McElwain was hope.
Yeah.
Mullen was hope.
Yeah. And so
and now Napier's hope.
Right. Now the most qualified of those ones for Florida was Mullen. The most qualified for Miami is Mario.
Yeah.
And so and Billy's not as qualified as Mullen was when he walked in because Mullen had succeeded in a very, very good conference. And so, they have a lot to prove. That's for sure. And we'll figure out which one of them. And it's so funny because which one of them wins that first game may not necessarily tell the whole story about how the rest of the season goes. But, man, will it help either fan base, depending on who comes out on top.
Yeah, but Miami, if they win that game against Florida, they've got FAMU, Ball State,
they're
University of South Florida. I mean, they could Easily.
Be unbeaten until they reach for it.
Yeah, they could be unbeaten when they play.
Well, remember, you had them, 7-0 or 8-0 going into November.
You did to Duke, and then you had them losing to Duke.
I paused. I didn't say they lost.
Because of Manny.
That's right. You did not say L. You definitely had a pause.
I had a pause, though, yeah.
And that's against Manny.
I know. That's a shame that we got to worry about Duke in this day and age.
Which is something else.
It is something else.
All right, listen, since we are talking
that was
college.
A pause, too. He was going W, and then Duke.
Yeah.
And then nothing. Dead air.
That's scary. That's scary. Up against a basketball school. All right. As we're talking college, we're going to get back to your Jags because we were all at the joint practices yesterday and today. So we're going to give you some more observations, some obvies at the last day of training camp. We'll do that coming up here in a second. So let's use college to get back to the Jags and give away tickets to Saturday night's game, courtesy of the flagship home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is I want you two to ponder this. RJ has the answer, and then the first correct caller will have those tickets to go to Saturday night's game. 2 schools have the most players on this Jaguars roster right now. Okay? 2 schools have the most players on the Jaguars roster right now. Name those 2 schools. 641-1010, fire up the phone lines for RJ, and we'll give you a chance to win those tickets on a Corona Thursday.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Your home for the best Jags coverage.
We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio, and 92.5 FM.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? StoneCore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit StoneCore today and let's beautify your home together. StoneCore.co. We do outdoors better.
Calling all fans of Duval to downtown Las Vegas during the game against the Silver and Black. This is Lauren Brooks from Helmets and Heels. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this December for the Jacksonville Game Day Getaway featuring an incredible all-in package. Get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. The all-in package is only available until August 30th, so act now. To book and to join the Heels in Vegas, visit circalasvegas.com today.
Oh, no.
You okay in there?
Toilet's backed up. It won't flush.
Okay, I'll call the pros.
The tank isn't filling. The handle does nothing. Run for your life.
Don't be so dramatic. Duck Rooter will fix it.
For any plumbing issue, call Duck Rooter, your local plumbing professionals and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
We will be perfect. Training camp.
You drop a pass, you run a mile.
Nobody covers camp like 1010XL. Get daily training camp coverage brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing and Kingfish Pest Control.
Perfection
on 1010XL.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, this is Bert Cannon with the First Coast YMCA.
Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
The Reggie Hunt Memorial Golf Classic fundraiser golf tournament is Friday, October 25th at Amelia River Golf Club. All proceeds support Big Brothers Big Sisters. Register at the Big Brothers Big Sisters events page.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
Hey guys, this is David Garrard, and I want to tell you about Clearwater Irrigation. They put my new sprinkler system in my new home at Jack's Beach, and I couldn't be happier. Oh, hey, John.
What's up, Dave? You know what this means. You're going to have to sing.
Man, I can't sing.
Then you'll fit right in, buddy. Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers. Hit it, Dave.
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Family owned and managed for 20 years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming golfing atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
All right, we got some newbies that have come on to this Jaguar roster of late, especially when you consider what has happened with Eric Armstead coming in, all these free agents that have been signed, all these draft picks that have been signed, and then with injuries, a few other cats have been brought on to the 90-man roster. So you two guys' guess, what do you have? Because we gave away the tickets. RJ, the winner of our winner's name is?
I think we're
Jay.
Okay,
we're
good.
both
Congratulations.
LSU. There's no doubt about that.
No, I'm gonna go with.
You're not guessing LSU.
I'm gonna go with Arkansas, Missouri.
Wow. I'm going at Clemson and LSU, I guess. I know Clemson's not right because unless there's some kind of random receiver or defensive back that also went to Clemson. But I'm going LSU's definitely one, and I'll take Clemson.
Well, I obviously when this draft took place, LSU shot to the top of the charts because it became LSU Vol is what it became.
Right.
And if you throw in the position coach, the linebacker room, then it would really be over the top. Anyway, LSU's one of them because of the number of players that you have. The other one, including Adrian Amos, who just came in recently.
See, this is sneaky. This is what I was talking about.
I'm just saying.
He does stuff like
Including
this.
Adrian Amos, who just came in recently for your Jacksonville Jaguars, along with Brenton Strange, Amani. I wish I could say his last name.
Right.
Amani O.
Right.
And Parker Washington.
No, Penn State. Okay.
Penn
State and LSU.
Yeah.
All right.
And so
okay.
you're talking 4 from each, and Clemson has ETN, T-Law, and
Shatley.
And Shatley. And Shatley's still part of this team. But anyway, you start looking around, and there are a ton of others. Matter of fact, if you go to Saturday night's game, one of the schools that will be the most represented by both teams will be Auburn. Because Auburn has Tank, Daniel Thomas, and Seth Williams on this roster right now. And they got Jamel Dean, KJ Britt, and Sal Cannella, the tight end. So definitely represented. Anyway, we wanted to hook somebody up with a little fun trivia question, and we'll make sure that there are more chances this afternoon.
By the way, speaking of Shatley, I don't know if you know this or not. This is Shatley's last year.
Well, he did it.
He went on Hacker's show and said, this is it.
He announced it. And that's why we were talking about where he might end up. And if he goes on to get cut and maybe perhaps lands on the practice roster, which is kind of crazy to think, as Leon suggested, they can't go and make a deal, like off to the side, say, hey, stick around, be available. We'll call you soon. No, I'd like to see some money.
Yeah, I mean,
Shatley's greatest strength is his strength.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you, guys.
in the best interest of his agent, he can't allow him to do that. I mean, is he shutting it down, or he's just...
He just said this is his last year, is all he said.
Last year? Okay, all right. He might be shutting it down.
Tanner Muse is also from Clemson.
Which one?
Them four. Tanner Muse.
Well, I just had to add Amos to my equation.
You know Matt Hayes is going to be right.
I know. He never stops.
He ain't never going to stop.
Yeah, he never stops. It's just on and on and on.
It's
somehow or another.
that I have.
I know it is.
It is. It's the reporting in him. That's for sure. All right. So back to the Jags and some of the pronouncements that we had from earlier today, because this is the last day of camp. This is the last day we're going to be able to still see that full practice. So let's just go through these pronouncements again. I feel like it's a football team that is mindful of how they lost last year, that they are going to be tougher. They're going to be committed to the run. I think Doug Peterson is determined to make sure that the run game is better. And I think the play call selection is going to be better. It looks like it's going to be better. And that means Trevor rolling. That means short passing. That means limiting his exposure to hits.
Well, the one thing I did notice early on in practice, before they even put on pass, the implement of some of the short yardage, the goal line, and stuff that they struggled with during the season last year in the red zone, trying to make plays, having Trevor roll to his left because, he struggled at times rolling to his left as far as protecting the football, the throwing interceptions and all that kind of stuff. I think there was a concerted effort on both sides of the ball to kind of work on some of the weaknesses that they may have struggled with last year to make sure, there aren't weaknesses going into the season. So that's the one thing that I noticed early on with the team, that they were implementing some of the stuff they struggled with during the season down the stretch. Red zone, short yardage, goal line, all that kind of stuff. They implemented that early on. So that was good to see. Look at me.
I mean, you can be committed to running the ball.
Right.
You can say you've improved. I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it.
This is the funniest part of it. This is practice, and this is when you do figure out stuff, and you do take chances, and you do find out what you got.
Bro.
And
if you're 3 weeks into camp, and you can't run the ball, and you can't get a push, it's not going to magically happen.
Right, but I'm not saying they can't run the ball, and I'm not saying they can't get a push. I'm saying it's still a little bit of a concern, but by no means do I think that this thing is dead and done.
You know what? Maybe the Chiefs, without Chris Jones, and maybe the Bucs. Chiefs and the Bucs have two of the best defensive fronts in the NFL. So we'll just stick with that then, all right? How about that?
They do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We'll stick with that.
Yeah. But all I know is that you haven't seen enough football to even know what you've got.
Oh, I've seen enough.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, you got to admit, Matt Hayes, it was a couple of times where you're watching practice. You saw Tank Bigsby, and you saw ATN square through the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's progress. Now, if they would get.
I also saw the first two series against the Chiefs, and it was.
I remember. ATN.
You know what?
I was there.
Bro, you were hiding your eyes in the first two series.
I was concerned. Absolutely. Because, everybody said we were missing two guys, but then I said, yeah, we were missing two starters, but there was no Chris Jones, and we still couldn't run the ball.
Preseasons will make fools of us all. It will. It will make fools of us all.
It's a clear overreaction either way. If they do well, because listen, the fan base was ecstatic after the win,
right?
And, and rightfully so.
They look good.
They look absolutely good.
Absolutely.
Because I'm watching the preseason game for depth. I wanted to see how after the starters, how the backups play, and the backups for the most part played very well. They got after it. They played physical, the tackling, the physicality. I mean, we're going to need depth. That's what you're looking for the preseason. You're looking for depth. You know, so that was inspiring to see them play that way. So the same thing is going to happen this weekend.
Yeah,
none of the starters are going to play, and you just want to see how the depth's going to play in a full game.
I just look, the Titans, the Colts, and the Texans. Remember we did the unit rankings? They all three had defensive lines were among the top 10 in the league.
Yeah, you're looking at what they did last year, and this.
No, it was like preseason. They were doing,
some of those
ESPN
rankings
did preseason unit rankings.
We're going to find out whether or not they're going to be stout against the run because Houston did add draft picks and free agents along that defensive line to go with Will Anderson. Will Anderson obviously is more of a rusher than he is a run stopper. But one of the listeners on the text line points out the Bucs were top 5 against the run. The Chiefs were top 10 against the run. So those are good numbers. That's what they do because
Will
of the guys that they
a
have.
Disruptor, by the way. He's not just a pass rusher. He's a disruptor.
Oh yeah, he is. But that's where he makes his living. Is he's going to go get the passer, and he's put weight on. He's tried to become maybe more of a run support guy. But the bottom line is that this football team needs to get quick hits. There was some zone blocking that I saw. And they're going to try and move some people and see if they can't find those little creases. I at least saw some of that against the Buccaneers the last couple of days.
Yeah, by the way, Will Anderson got handled by Anton Harris.
At times, yeah.
Especially more than that time.
Especially in that second game.
Second game, he put them hands on him.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it again.
Yeah. I'm sure Will Anderson's going to adjust a little bit.
Bring it.
Yeah, no, I'm
scared
with you.
Money,
Hey,
scared money don't make no money.
I want them to be able to run the ball. You know how I feel.
Yeah, I know,
ETN.
but like I said,
I love ETN. But it's difficult sledding right now, man. That's all I'm saying.
Preseason will make fools of us all. And I've been fooled so many times by what I see in the preseason. I think I know something. And like I said, most of the time it's positive because you fall in love in the preseason, and then you get to reality. Reality slaps you in the face. And it still may slap us in the face again. We maybe walk in after that Miami game and my God, they can't run the ball. Yeah. That easily could be the theme. But against that Miami defense, I do think they're going to be able to run the ball. And I do think they're going to be able – and by the way, anyone check out the Miami's preseason game, their secondary, their defense, they got clipped for some big plays. Is that exactly what Miami's going to be once the regular season starts? I don't think so. No, they're going to tighten up that side of the ball. That's the whole essence of what happens in the preseason. Make mistakes, correct them. Yeah. See where you go from there.
Window shop.
Yeah, well, we'll find out.
Just looking, don't go buy nothing yet.
All right. 641-1010. You guys can keep it going as far as your thoughts on this team ending camp. We'll pay off our X poll coming up here in just a second because the feeling you had a year ago, I'm betting, was pretty sky high because this team was a playoff team. Is it different this year for better or for worse? We'll keep it going. Corona bringing you our Thursdays starting at noon every Thursday from here all the way through football season on XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Deadline August 31st. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
The hottest trend in casual dining has expanded in Jacksonville with its 5th location off 103rd. The Flame Broiler serves up protein-packed rice bowls. It's fast, healthy, and affordable. Order online at flamebroilerusa.com or visit any of our 5 locations. Flame Broiler, simply healthy.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 15, 1990, first baseman Mark McGwire is the first to hit 30 home runs in each of his first 4 seasons.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I've known Glenn Cohen for a long time as a friend and a lawyer. Persistent and fair, Glenn and his firm have represented clients from North Florida and South Georgia for over 40 years in all kinds of personal injury cases. If I had such a case, call Glenn at Barnes, Cohen, and Sullivan.
Tickets are on sale now for this year's Florida Forum Speaker Series featuring former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, physician and author Deepak Chopra, and author of Bad Monkey and Hoot, Floridian novelist Carl Hiaasen. Funds raised are for Kids Care Mobile ICUs, neonatal and pediatric critical care transport vehicles. These vehicles and helicopters safely transport more than 2,000 infants and children a year to Wolfson Children's Hospital. Get your tickets now at thefloridaforum.com.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
For a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 August 24th at Daytona, answer this question. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
New addition at defensive end for the Jaguars. Eric Armstead is looking to continue to be a problem for quarterbacks. Armstead tallied 33.5 sacks and helped the Niners reach 2 Super Bowls in his 9 seasons in San Fran. Armstead, now with the Jags, is ready for a fresh start in Duval and is immediately taking a leadership role.
It's a new experience for me. You know, I was one place for 9 years, and so this is a new experience for me. So navigating that of being new, but also having the respect and trying to be a leader and help people with the knowledge that I have has been a great experience for me. I feel like getting me out of my comfort zone, and it's been amazing. I have a lot of great teammates.
Armstead adds size and aggression to the defensive front, standing 6'7", 290. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Well, my takeaway today is that my alma mater, the University of Miami, is getting a lot of love. All right? Get a lot of love, a lot of respect. It's only 16 days away from we going to the swamp. I'm hoping for the best. I'm 16 days away, baby. That's it. 16 days away. And I'm looking forward to it. Hey, listen, 11-1, 12-0. That's where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You are going.
I'm going there.
Undefeated.
I am. I'm there.
Whoa.
I'm on
What's
that
the
train.
loss if it is 11-1?
If it's a loss, the loss is.
I know you'll start off 0-1 and then run the table.
No. We're gonna start 1-0. My only concern is at Louisville.
Oh, really?
At Louisville.
You're more scared of Louisville than you are the Gators?
You're worried about Tyler Shugg?
I'm more concerned about that. This is my concern. They get on a nice little roll. They start feeling themselves. They go on the roll, and they give up a game they're supposed to.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's the trap game.
So it's not Duke anymore.
Not Duke, no.
Takeaway?
All right, my takeaway is Trevor Lawrence looks really sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Looks really sharp. And compared to how it started, he definitely started slow. There's no doubt about it. His first week was slow. Boy, he looks good now. He looks really good. He looks sharp. He's looks like he's seeing the field. He's throwing with anticipation. Yeah. And he looks comfortable out there.
Yeah.
He didn't look comfortable the first 3-4 practices. He looks very, very comfortable right now.
My takeaway is I'm trying to figure out whether Elijah Cooks makes this roster or not, but I saw him on special teams today. And the kickoff rule that they have right now is crazy to watch because it looks like there's a lot of big plays that can be had off of it, which is going to, by the time the preseason schedule ends, going to lead every head coach to say, we need to kick it through the end zone, is basically what they're going to say. But I did see Elijah on special teams, and I think that's important to find out if he can be more than just a guy at the end of the roster room. He could be viewed as the 5th or 6th receiver, depending on how you guys look at him. But he is a big body that is having a decent camp, especially coming on a little bit later with pads on and making catches. I'm a Seth Williams fan. He had a couple big plays today, but I think he's probably more bound for the practice roster, practice squad, and Elijah may make it. Tim Jones is still fighting like heck to be one of those guys that makes that roster because he is a, quote, 4-core special teamer. And he is good, but he's had a chance to make a few plays in the receiving game. He hadn't necessarily done that, whereas Elijah Cooks has.
Elijah Cooks making this team.
Yeah.
You cannot leave. If you put him on the practice squad, someone will pick him up and sign him.
Well,
he's making the team.
Maybe, but we always joke about that. This team needs to find their best 53 and not worry about what happens on the practice.
I think he is one of their best 53. He's also something they don't have at receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's 6'4". He's a big dude.
He does represent.
He's long.
Yeah, he does represent that. There's no doubt about it that he can be a bigger target. That you can get the ball.
This is what you were saying to me earlier. You said, how much impact does a 6th receiver have? Well, I'll tell you how much he has. Mm-hmm. When one of those other guys goes down, then he's going to have an impact.
Yeah.
And you have to play for that. You can't just hope nobody gets injured.
No.
Hope is not a plan.
But I'm of the belief that you're looking at Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, all three of them as being hugely valuable. One guy goes down, there is a developing Parker Washington. Another guy goes down, I think Devin Duvernay is the next guy. I love Devin Duvernay. I think he will be an impact in the receiving game, and he obviously will be an impact in the return game, primarily for punts. But I think he's going to be the guy that they're going to be leaning on to make those types of plays. Oh, yes. And then Elijah has an opportunity to be a big target around the goal line. We'll just kind of see how that unfolds. But it's not like I don't look at him and go, I like him, but I don't look at him like, gotta have him type of thing. Because these guys are all competitive and all have something on their resume that says, okay, if we're trying to find who that guy fits in, that 6th spot, I can come up with an argument for Elijah easily. I can come up with an argument for Seth. I can come up with an argument for Tim Jones. So that's what they've got to figure out is exactly because you go right now, the starting 3 that we just mentioned, and then you go Parker and Devin and Parker, however you want to do it. And then you got to make your decision on that 6th guy. And then, heck, we start talking about the offensive line. Is it going to be 8, 9, 10? How many offensive linemen are there going to be? And how is that going to impact how you're going to put this whole roster?
More than likely 8.
I think 8, but
Probably
Coach
8.
Thinks 9.
9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because honestly, if you go through this, and you're going to see these guys, we'll talk about this a little bit more probably tomorrow as we get ready for the game with Coach, but all those backups are going to be playing. Mm-hmm. You know who your 5 are. We all know who the starting 5, and then we know that Walker Little is the 6th offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
And,
so now you're only down to 2.
And Fortner's a 7th, honestly. You're not going to cut him. He's on a good contract,
you're not going to cut him.
He's a 7th. So
okay,
now
so
you've got
then
1 or 2 positions left.
So then it's Hance, Cooper.
And you're not cutting Foster, so there's your
Foster.
8.
Okay, so now you are at 9.
Yeah, you probably put Foster on the practice squad.
Think?
I don't.
I mean,
you have Walker, your swing. Yeah, you probably would. Yeah.
Yeah, Walker.
Although somebody might put a 4th rounder on it.
You will be putting 2 4th rounders.
You can't put him on the practice squad, bro. Somebody will take him.
Yeah, but not your swing guy now. The swing guy is Walker Little.
Yeah. But
right now.
But
then hands.
Javon Foster has worked at left tackle
and
while
right.
Walker and right while Walker was over on the right-hand side. So it's going to be hard to take a fourth rounder and put him on the practice
You
squad.
put him on the practice squad, that's a bad pick.
I agree.
You made a bad pick.
Yeah.
And so it's like I had a little conversation with Austin Trammell that we'll play tomorrow. I told him, I said, this roster is getting harder and harder to make.
Yeah.
And he this is his first time through here, but I think most Jaguar fans would agree. This is a better roster, and that's where Trent Baalke does deserve some credit. He may have spent in free agency to get some of these guys, but he has drafted a few decent players as well. It's hard to make this roster.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Shatley.
Yeah, and so Shatley would be a casualty here.
Yeah.
Because he's been here the longest and is capable, but you got to start looking to the youth of this football team.
That's the reason why they've been playing Fortner at center and guard.
Right.
Yeah.
Cross-training him.
Yeah, because now Shatley becomes expendable.
Yeah. And he easily could just kind of go to the side.
So if you do keep 9, the 9th guy's got to be a guard, does it not?
Well, Javon also could be looked at as a guard, interior lineman, going forward. Right now, he's being viewed and practicing as a tackle.
I mean, if you're keeping 9, it's got to be a guard.
You got Cooper. You got Cooper.
That's what I'm saying. He's the guy you got to keep.
You either have Cooper and Blake or Cooper and Fortner. And so you'd have to sit there and you just kind of have to think about that. Then Javon and Walker. That gets you to 9. So you are going to have a little bit of a tough time figuring out exactly how that's all going to play out. And you start looking at the numbers, and if you carry 9, you're only going to carry 3 running backs. So where does Keelan Robinson go? Because you're going to have 4 tight ends.
Practice squad.
Yeah, probably. 4 tight ends. Let's just say 9 linemen for argument's sake right now. So you're at 13. 2 quarterbacks. You're at 15. 6 wide receivers if you do it right now. You're at 21.
Do you need 4 tight ends?
Yeah, because they're going to run a lot of 2 tight ends. I don't think they can get away with 3. And so it's immediately it's Evan, Luke Farrell, Brenton Strange. And then 81 the other night made him a few plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he might have a real solid chance to make this squad. But they're probably going to carry 4. And so then now you go 3 running backs, 4 tight ends. Anyway, it adds up to 24, and you might decide on whether you can go 24, 25, whatever that number might be. And then you get to the other side. You got to carry, is it going to be 8 defensive linemen? Is it going to be 9? And then you quickly get to that 49 number, and then you've got maybe one more return guy along with your kicker, snapper.
I'm not sure you're going to have a luxury as
you might not.
Another return guy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that luxury's there.
Yeah,
you might not. Guys are going to have to start double trip. Like Bigsby's going to have to be your backup return guy,
which he's already shown that.
And your backup punt returner was going to have to be Kirk.
Heck, there was one return today, and like I said, Leon, it doesn't look like too many teams are going to be willing to kick off and give you a chance to return it. But Bigsby, in that short field, really impressive the way he moved through
he's got a burst.
That line. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, some of the special team coordinators, they're not going to show their hand during the preseason, but they're going to implement run plays, run blocking schemes on those kickoffs to where running backs could essentially get through the holes. Yeah, trust me, it's going to happen. Yeah.
All right, so as we mentioned this with the draft and guys that potentially could land on a practice squad that were drafted, which would be a little crazy. We have an obvious need at interior offensive line, says the texter, which is a position that's notoriously thin in the league. So naturally, in a rare draft known for its interior offensive line depth, we draft 0. Couldn't pass up on that 2-down nose tackle from one of the weakest defenses in college football. And so that's going to be the referendum. That's going to be –
I don't know who that guy is, but he's dead on accurate.
Yeah, well, that's what they're going to try and figure out because, honestly, they had holes in both of those areas. I think we would agree with that. Interior
but you addressed it with Armstead.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
Mm-hmm. True. But Armstead in his 10th year, a little long in tooth.
Right, but you're addressing this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. One of our texters, thoughts on Cephas. Joshua Cephas is a good player. He looks like he's practice squad bound, but they do not want to lose him. They want to try and develop him. Of course, you're going to take a risk whenever you go to the practice roster. I like what I've seen from him. He's fun to watch. Long, quick, athletic, all that type of stuff.
What's a practice squad again? $15,000 a month? Is that right, Leon? Is that what it is?
No, practice squad makes $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
$200,000?
200 to 300, depending on where you're at.
$200,000 a year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You make a nice little, it's good. It really is.
Nice living, man.
Yeah, from $50,000 a month.
Are you guys concerned at all about Kirk's mild calf strain? I think anytime you hear calf strain, especially with what Matt and I have been through with the Achilles scares, it freaks you out. It should freak you out. But we're talking about a guy that is in great shape, that has battled back from a core injury that required surgery last year, and definitely in a position now to have him a banner year. And I like the fact that they did shut him down quickly and give him time. We're looking at now, if he doesn't play this week and doesn't play next week, he's basically got a month to come back from a calf strain.
Well, it's a mild calf strain. You wouldn't think that's that difficult, right?
No.
He was dressed today, was he not?
Yeah, and we don't know, like I said, we don't know how significant it is or anything, but it's just what the question that the texter's asking. I would not be panicking right now. I'm just saying whenever I hear calf strain, Christian McCaffrey has it, Christian Kirk has it. We don't know to what level for either one of these guys. But
whenever I hear calf strain, I think of KD every time.
Yeah.
Every time the calf strain becomes the Achilles.
Which is why I said me and you with Achilles. You can't.
If it's anything like a Charlie horse, I know it hurts. You've ever had a Charlie horse in the middle of the night?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it hurts.
You can actually get a strain from that.
That's a calf strain.
Yeah, you can get a strain. Like, it can be lasting.
Yeah. Yeah. Another one on the text says they kept 3 tight ends last year. I'm guessing they will do it again. And I think that the one thing at the very least that is popping for me, and this is the only reason I think there's 4, is because they have run a lot of double tight end sets. And they have run those to make sure they're more committed to the run. They need as much as they can to make sure that they get that run game going and that they have a blocking Luke Farrell and a pass-catching Evan Ingram, and you can go with any other combination. They may only carry 3, depending on how it goes. But I know they want to go double is quite a bit. And Luke Farrell's actually not bad.
I was just going to say, by the way, speaking of Luke Farrell, we all laughed about it or drafted him because he knew his dad. He's a solid player, man. He's a better than average blocker, and he is a danger in the pass game.
Yeah. And so, and those guys, look, they have mixed and matched a lot of guys in the special teams game that are starters. So don't be shocked if you see that. But I just know that it feels like they're heading in that direction. Speaking of directions, let's head in this direction.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers. Discover BioTarget Regenerative Therapy, a safer drug-free solution for lasting pain relief. Visit GoBioTarget.com.
The embedded and shredded Hayes Carline joins us now. He could be the 4th tight end. Okay.
Yeah.
He could be.
Yeah, that's what they need.
We're breaking down the roster, Carline.
Let's do it. I love it.
How many tight ends?
I would say 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say 4. Yeah.
Wow. And are you going with them? Well, that's my theory, is that they are committed to that two tight end, and they want to run the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, I think so. And it's again, that's a special teams position as well. So yeah, I would think you keep 4 and go from there. But they've got some real decisions. Doug Peterson was asked about it today, and that 9th, 10th offensive lineman, that 8, 9 defensive linemen, that 5th, 6th safety, like that 5th, 6th, they've got some battles along both fronts and in the secondary.
So you think 9 offensive line for sure, maybe 10.
For sure, and maybe I like keeping 10, but you could get away with 9.
That's what I was thinking. You got to have more than one guard.
I've gone from 8 to 9.
Yeah, you were 8 at one point.
I know, which I'm crazy, but I've gone from 8 to 9. But I don't think I'm going 10. I can't do it. So this is what, real quick, this is what we were doing earlier, Hayes, and I know you guys, you do the roster breakdown on 1010XL.com, but Cooper, Fortner, Hance, and then obviously Javon Foster, a 4th-round pick. Right. I don't think you're sending him
Walker
to the
Little.
Yeah, and Walker. I don't think you're sending Javon Foster to the practice squad, are you?
No,
Well,
he's
10. That's 10.
Yeah.
That's 10.
I think it's going to be.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really tough cut.
What
But
if
I would just keep 6 receivers,
What if
which
all 10
allows
of
you
them
to
can't
keep
get a
10.
yard?
What's that?
What if all 10 of them can't get a yard?
Look, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's not how there's certain things that you have to give away when you build a team. You are not going to be able to have everything, and right or wrong, and it's probably wrong, but they have decided that they are not going to prioritize getting that yard. What they are prioritizing is athletic, speed, versatile passing game, explosive running back, and they're hopeful that they'll just be able to hit enough big plays that they're not going to be an offense that constantly has to get short yardage conversions. As we saw last year, I think that plan can bite you. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's no chance they're going to line up and just blow defensive fronts off the ball.
No.
That's not how they're constructed.
No.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things that they're going to have to work around that. The converse of that would be to have road graders, for both guard and center spot. Your tackles are suspect, and you really don't have great talent on the perimeter. And that's tough. So it's just in this day and age, it's hard to have both. You're probably not going to have that. And so, yeah, they're going to have to get creative on those, short yardage situations, because I don't think they're just going to be able to out physical teams to get that 1 yard when they need it.
Yeah, you are right. They surrender somewhere. Every team does.
So you're telling us to look for 10 personnel on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1?
I think, yeah, absolutely. I think that could happen. I think you could see sweeps to ETN, which I hate. But, I think you could see, that kind of stuff where they try to, get tricky with it and take advantage of his speed. But, yeah, I don't think they're constructed to line up and just go straight up the middle with the run game and have great success with it.
And that's a philosophical decision, right? There's no doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt. So it'll be fun. We got a great Frangie show coming up. Brett Hastings will join us for Sports and Courts. Kind of an interesting legal entanglement with Lane Kiffin. So we'll get into that. I had a chance to catch up with linebacker Chad Muma after practice, so we will play that as well. So it should be a fun Frangie show coming up.
Beautiful. Look forward to it. The Embedded said entanglement. Entanglement. So we got that coming up. All right, we are done. We say thanks to Corona on a Thursday. You can kick off your weekend just like we do on Thursdays with a cold Corona. Make sure you check out Corona Premier, Corona Light, Corona Extra, whatever it might be. And also look forward to the weekend as well. We are done. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, and RJ back at 2 tomorrow. Thanks for hanging with us.
Everyone wants